Ano ba yung difference ng coaching and mentoring?
Normally, those two are confused as the same thing, but they're actually two very different things. So sometimes actually a coach can be quite challenging, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes people will get frustrated.
Yeah.
GPS ang mentor, ang coach mirror, parang ganon.
For many entrepreneurs, no, parang they think na yung coaching is only for big companies na or kaya for problem employees.
The coaching that we practice in the International Coaching Federation, it's not punitive. If an entrepreneur is watching, say what you need to say.
Hi everyone, this is Jerry Ilao, co-founder of Olern and Tarki, and welcome sa ating Olern Insights, where we distill business strategies and tech into bite-sized learning. I'm here with Miss Nikka Santos, leadership and team coach. So, kanina Miss Nikka, no, pinag-usapan natin your story from being a media executive and now a credentialed coach. And I think important rin na pag-usapan natin, no, for those viewers, yung how to build the coaching culture, no? Especially with importance ng coaching ngayon na I'm sure marami sa kanila na naririnig na ang benefits ng coaching. But before that, siguro, ano ba yung difference ng coaching and mentoring?
Okay, it's great you started with that because normally those two are confused as the same thing. But they're actually two very different things, two very essential things in the workplace. But people have to know the distinction.
Yeah.
So my definition of coaching comes from my training as ICF coach. It's really empowering the other person who I must see as a leader, regardless of what their position is in the company, as capable, resourceful, and whole. That I facilitate their thinking through questions, sharing feedback, so they figure out for themselves, how am I going to overcome this challenge? What needs to change in me? What do I need to continue doing? What do I need to stop doing? And all of that must come from the client. I'm not there to feed him or her or they information. Although occasionally I will give feedback or I will notice a pattern that they're exhibiting. So I guess you could call that information. But I don't inflict it on them. I just lay it out and then, if you're my client, Jerry, I noticed this pattern. It doesn't seem to match the values that you say you hold. And then you just tell me what you think about that. So sometimes actually a coach can be quite challenging, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes people will get frustrated. But the coach's job is not to have a feel-good session. The coach's job, although you will feel good kasi masarap talaga maghinga ng frustrations or what. But sometimes, mapapaisip ka na, ako yung problema dito eh. Ako yung kailangan magbago. So, in the beginning, that could be frustrating. Now, a mentor tells you, based on his or her experience, shares information or a pathway that he or she has used before. They can also say, that might not be a good idea. Or this is what's worked for us. This is how you can apply it. So, ang mentoring is a bit more directive and of course, downloading, sharing information that the leader doesn't necessarily yet know. Right? So, to put a good metaphor, the coach is like a mirror. I ask you questions, I mirror back to you observations so that you can see your blind spots.
Okay.
Kasi you are a very intelligent person, Jerry, you're very successful, you're experienced, but for sure you have blind spots. And so a coach can shed light on that. Yung, it's social learning.
Okay.
Right? Pwede ka magbasa ng libro, pero iba yan if you discuss it with someone. Right? So, ang mentor naman is more like a GPS. Parang Waze. Punta ka dito, punta ka doon. But ultimately then, the mentor, di ba, or the Waze, sabi ni Waze, kumaliwa ako, pero you know what, kakanan ako kasi sa experience ko, di ba?
Yes.
So those are the two,
Yeah.
GPS ang mentor,
Mm-mm.
ang coach mirror,
Mm.
parang ganon.
Yeah. I like the analogy,
Oo.
very, very clear.
Clear na ba?
Clear na. So, mirror is coaching, shedding light on your blind spots. Tapos, meron tayong mentoring, which is GPS, parang Waze, which, yan, I think many are familiar with. Is one better than the other? And how do you know which one to use, coaching or mentoring?
I think both are necessary in life, in the workplace. I would not say one is better than the other kasi they're both essential modalities at coaching and mentoring. But there are times as a leader, you decide this is a mentoring moment because this person, kunwari, is inexperienced or is really struggling, then you need to mentor. But coaching is also important, so you empower that person to think for themselves. And it actually also, if you're a leader and you're practicing coaching, that's actually influence building. When you ask somebody in your team who's below you in the hierarchy, Jerry, paano ba yan? Parang, or how would you approach this? Even if as a experienced, very capable manager, alam mo na. But when you ask people in your team, how would you do it? Or what's your idea about this? You build influence. Then, so if you're a leader, you need to practice both. And it's up to you when. Discarte mo na yon, but you need to practice both. But here's something I'll share. Maybe because I'm a coach, but yung beingness of a coach na kinukwento ko sa'yo kanina, I think I ended up becoming a better mentor because I'm no longer gigil to ganito, kailangan ganito. So now when I mentor, I'm more relaxed. Like, parang, I always end with, ito yung experience ko, itong nag-work sa akin. I always end with, sa tingin mo. So I'm more curious now, what does the learner think? Right? I downloaded a bunch of stuff. Now that I'm a coach, my mentoring has elevated kasi I'm always curious. Ikaw, sa tingin mo, what's your spin on this? Okay ba to? Hindi ba okay? Yun.
Yeah. Yan, very, very nice. For many entrepreneurs, no, parang they think na yung coaching is only for big companies or kaya for problem employees. How do you reframe yung coaching also for SMEs?
Good question, because let me tackle that and in my coaching with multinationals, I would often encounter, this might be controversial, especially with people who came from BPO. The first time they go to me, this happened several times, natatakot sila. Like, when in the beginning, I always ask, how are you feeling? Several times I've heard, I'm nervous. And what makes you nervous? Because kasi coach, are you a strict coach? May ganon. So, that's a fantasy or a myth that people should remove about coaching. When you are receiving coaching, at least the coaching that we practice in the International Coaching Federation, it's not punitive. It's not you were sent to the principal's office and the coach is the principal. It's really a developmental conversation. Where do you want to go? Ganyan. So, buti na lang you brought that up because that's something I'm so antsy to share, that it's not meant to punish you. It's really meant to empower you. There. So,
So very, that means na, especially yun, for organizations, big or small, yung leaders should have the, kumbaga, training on how to be a coach.
Yeah. In fact, that's the thing, no? And you were saying, it's just in multinational companies or no. In fact, I've worked with some Filipino companies where the leaders got coaching themselves, the people on top of the company, and they liked it. And then now they are engaged in a leaders as coaches program. So that they can cascade the coaching culture and have coaching conversations
Yeah.
within their organizations. Not to be ICF certified,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
but at least have the foundations of the beingness,
Yes.
the curiosity,
Mm-mm.
what's a powerful question,
Mm.
how do you discipline yourself from stepping in and problem solving,
Mm-mm.
aka micromanaging.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So, malakas maka-anti-micromanaging ang coaching culture. Sakit natin yan mga entrepreneurs,
Yes.
di ba?
Mm-mm.
Right?
Mm-mm.
So, no, definitely it's not just for big companies. All places, all work environments, actually even my home, I consider my family a team. I'd like to say that I'm trying to instill or build a coaching culture also with my children, with my husband, even with your kasambahay, di ba? Yung
Yeah.
ganon. So, ano siya, it's not just meant for big corporations.
Yeah.
I think it's something that we could all learn.
Mm. So you're a leadership and team coach, no? So I'm sure you've helped dozens and dozens of companies. Ano yung mga key lessons na maybe our viewers can learn from it? Ano yung, kumbaga, maybe coaching practices na they should do, simple ways na they could implement coaching for their company?
Okay, I'd love to share. So, I like to boil it down to what based on my experience, I boil it down to courageous conversations. So you do not have to be an ICF level coach to have courageous conversations. Meaning, conversations where you listen, you're open to other people's perspective, and then you also say what you need to say, even if you will potentially hurt the person or offend the person. And a lot of Filipinos, right, we were raised, especially at least my generation, yung mga Gen Z, parang medyo iba sila, mas vocal sila eh. But we're scared to rock the boat.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up at a time na yung magtanong ka lang, bakit ganito? Parang nega ka na, ganyan. But, so now, even I had to overcome that, yung, especially even as a woman, parang, don't be that difficult woman na ang dami mong tanong, napakanega mo, ang dami mong, punteriya, ganyan, you're always But naming is not blaming. Eh. So you need to be able to have courageous conversations. That's one thing, if an entrepreneur is watching, say what you need to say. And my tip there is, just have 3 guidelines. Even if it's scary to say and you might potentially hurt the person. Number 1, does it come from a place of love, meaning good intentions? Number 2, the words you use, the tone, your facial expression. Be careful and be intentional how you're coming across. And then number 3, timing, right? When is the right time to talk about this? Okay, and entrepreneurs out there, it's not 6 months or a month after your that person did something you're not happy with, right? So yon. And another thing I could give as advice to entrepreneurs is you intentionally put within your system the conversations. Meaning, guys, hindi na uso yung open door policy, even with the Gen Zs. Diba that's so our generation?
Yes.
Oh, open door policy dito. Parang,
just come here kung kailangan mo
no,
usapin.
because ito, literally, nakabukas ang pinto ko. In fact, their Gen Zs are gonna see that as parang may term sila for that parang, I forget, but parang nagpapabida ka lang na you're just doing that for show. The open door is just for show. So how do you show that you're sincere? Have scheduled one-on-ones. Meaning, people in your team, you have 30 or 20 minutes with them. It's your call. Is it once a month, once a quarter, once a week, up to you. But have conversations around whatever that team member wants to talk about. So if they want to talk about work, fine. If they want to talk about their career trajectory, fine. But have that space na you talk to them and integrate it. Don't just open your door. Naka-Google Calendar yan at may calendar invite.
Yeah, ganda yon.
Oo. So that's one thing I could, And then of course, maganda rin if you're heading an organization or you have a business, that you receive coaching yourself. Maybe
Yeah.
the entire organization can't be coached, but experience coaching,
Yeah.
and then you can be able to coach people yourselves.
Mm.
Paramdam mo sa team mo what it feels like to be in a safe, I even like to call it a brave space na
Mm.
kahit may-ari ng kumpanya yung kausap mo, okay lang na kontrahin ka niya
Mm.
or mag-express siya ng difficult feelings about the work here.
Mm.
But then you listen to it, not to wallow, but to kind of like, okay, so how do we solve that now?
Mm.
And then you work together, you collaborate.
Mm.
It's so powerful. Yun lang, integrate
Yeah.
mo sa business mo. That 20 minutes a month or 20 minutes a week.
Yeah.
Up to you, right?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, very powerful yun. Ako guilty as charged na yun, I always forget to schedule yung mga one-on-one with my direct reports. So, parang sinasabi mo doon, walang agenda. Parang depends on what your, kumbaga, direct report wants to talk about, no? Kung career siya o kung ano man, etc. Basta schedule it regularly. Yeah.
Diba?
Sige.
Kahit i-virtual coffee mo yon, right?
Mm-mm.
Kung wala silang agenda, then ikaw gumawa ng agenda, right?
Mm-mm.
But have it.
Mm-mm.
Let them experience you as another human being who they can problem solve with
Yeah.
or thinking partner with.
Yeah.
Ganyan.
Galing, ganda. Yay! So, si Miss Nikka po has, I think, developing a program no on courageous conversations.
Yes.
So, that's the next segment that we will talk about kasi very, I like the how you name it, no, courageous conversations. Kasi especially for new leaders, no, medyo mahirap talaga when you talk to employees, di ba, na difficult topics, etc. So, we'll talk about that in the next segment. So, please watch out for it. Again, this is Jerry Ilao, co-founder of Olern and Tarki, and see you sa ating next segment.